TG Sports Media 7. Like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Ain't no way that the TG Sports Media 7 way left. Go.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another one of TG Sports Media 7. Today, we're going to be discussing a few topics, man. It's definitely a part two to one of the last videos that we put out. We're going to be going over LeBron James, you know what I'm saying, and his son, man, playing together. Definitely going to be going over the Klay Thompson trade over to Dallas Mavericks, as well as Paul George, man, going over to Philadelphia, man. What does that look like for Philly, right? Claressa Shields, man, three-time undisputed champion in her respective weight classes, as well as three-time Olympic U.S. gold medalist, man. She is a dominant force in the women's boxing, man. So we're going to be definitely discussing that today, as well as Sha'Carri Richardson, man. She has finally got her chance, man, to get her run over in Paris, man, for a gold medal. So we're going to see what it looks like for her, man. We got a special guest today, man, Pt.2. What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Man, doing good, brother. You know what I'm saying? Definitely look forward to getting into these topics, man. Hey, man, drop your channel, man. What's going on, man? I see that you jumping into the game, man, and doing your thing, brother. Drop your channel for the people.
Robin Hood Hefe on YouTube. I just sometimes repost funny stuff that I see and sometimes talk about things I've wondered about as far as growing up, the stuff we were taught. I challenge a lot of things we were taught just because I don't necessarily believe it all. But when you're programmed a certain way, that's all you know.
Man, that's deep, brother. That's deep, man. That sounds like some deep psychology and philosophy, man. And I definitely respect that, brother. And you guys, man, going over to his channel, man, check it out, like, subscribe, and share, man. And check out the content that he got going on, man. It's definitely some deep stuff and some stuff that's going to challenge a lot of, the way that, again, like you said, the way that we were raised, man. So definitely look forward to coming over to your channel, brother, and being a part of that, man. So, yeah, man, let's jump into it, brother. You know what I mean? Before we get started, man, I want to definitely give a shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video, man. I recently become a brand ambassador for them. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets, man. They rate the tickets from a 0 out of 10 score on each ticket to know if you're getting a good or bad deal. Good or bad deal, my man. Green, good deal. Red, bad deal. Plus, my viewers get $20 off their first purchase, man, with my promo code TG Hustle. Click the link in the description, download the app. Remember, promo code TG Hustle, and click my link in the profile description and download the app, man. Use the code TG Hustle. Let's go. All right, so man, hey, first topic I want to get into, my man, is LeBron James, man. LeBron James, Bronny James, man, playing on the same team, man. It's definitely history going down, my guy. As I said in my other video, man, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually discuss it, man. And you guys leave a comment, man. Tell us what you think, So Pt.2, man, what's your thoughts on LeBron playing with Bronny James? Is he abusing his power, man, or is this history, man? You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts on that, brother?
I think it's dope. I think if most men in the position of LeBron James would do the same thing for their son, I think using a 55th pick on Bronny Jr. was the Lakers didn't really lose much. The end of the second round is not really most of the dudes at the end of the second round aren't going to even make the team. So I think it's pretty cool. And as far as abusing the power, I don't really believe that. I think nepotism is a way of life. When you're in a position, you more often than not, the CEO of a Fortune 500 company is going to leave that company to his son or somebody he's comfortable with, and they're going to push and use their name to get their certain family members or individuals in a position to where they can succeed or have the action to succeed. So to be very quite honest, I think the only difference is, LeBron James is a young black dude and he put his son, which is another younger black dude, in that position. And I just don't think it was a big deal. For example, Steve Nash was the coach of the Brooklyn Nets. It wasn't a big deal. Steve Kerr became the coach of the Warriors, it wasn't a big deal. But I think the main reason it's a big deal is because, for one, the Lakers are popular, but for two, it's a black dude. So, like, I don't really want to hear the whole he took an opportunity from someone else and he didn't deserve it. Sometimes it's not about what you deserve. It's about who's in a position to put you in that spot.
Hey, man, that's deep, brother. I definitely agree with you on that. You made some valid points there, man. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, man, I think it's, you know, we've seen this in other sports, right? You know what I'm saying? We've seen King Griffey Jr. play with his pops, senior, you know what I mean, in baseball. You know what I mean? Not many people raised questions then, right? So, all of a sudden social media is one of the things that everybody goes to. And, everyone's able to give their opinions, you know what I mean? And some opinions aren't always good opinions, you know what I mean? That's what I think, some people are just given perspectives from a hatred standpoint, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with you, man. LeBron James being able to kind of pass, it's like an organization, right? And like you said, being able to pass that over to your son, man, that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? So not only that, but they also have a chance to play together and, you know, have a run somewhat in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And so, the way that I see it is the Lakers are probably going to develop, you know what I'm saying, Bronny James through the first half of their schedule. They're probably going to keep him in the G League. You know what I mean? Or that's just what I'm
Yeah,
seeing. You know what I mean? Um, but
yeah,
like you
he's
said,
super athletic. I mean, definitely a developmental player. I'm not sitting here saying, bro is an all-star right now, but one of the things, do you remember when Eli Manning got drafted and it was like, I'm not going here, I'm not going there. He didn't want to go to the Chargers or whatever.
right, right, right. He went
So
he went to play
that's
for
another case of, yeah,
his dad.
his big brother was in the league and his dad was in the league. So like a guy like Cam Newton or Michael Vick or one of those Lamar Jackson type quarterbacks, they wouldn't have been able to say, no, I'm not going to play there. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not hating on Eli Manning. I thought it was dope. If you have someone in the position to catapult you to where you want to go and what you want to be, why not?
Hey, I'm agreeing with you, man. That's definitely some good points made, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it looks good for LeBron James and his son, man. Being able to kind of duel it out. It's the first time we've seen this in basketball history. You know what I'm saying? So, LeBron, put himself in a position and put his son in a position for them to be able to do this. You know what I mean? So, this is it's a beautiful thing, man. I wish them nothing but the best of luck. So, my only question to you is, what do you think Kobe would think about this, brother? What would Kobe have to say about this? Would rest in peace, Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. You know what I mean, to everyone else that was there. When they lost their lives. Him and his daughter. So my question to you though, brother, is what would Kobe say about this, my guy?
Uh, Kobe's probably my favorite basketball player ever. Just kind of thinking that I know a little bit about how bro's mentality was. I think the main reason he will be against it is because dude isn't going to help. Like Bronny James wouldn't be able to help them win now. So Kobe Bryant wasn't really for what wasn't going to help him win now. So I think his mentality was, now I want a championship this year, not looking for developmental players and all that. I mean, that's kind of my opinion. I don't necessarily think he would have come out publicly and said anything negative toward the kid, but I do think that when it came down to winning now, if the moves weren't conducive to that, Kobe was against it. He wanted to win. It didn't matter about records and the first time in history playing with the son and the dad. Like if Bronny James could help the Lakers win, he would have been all for it. But if he couldn't help them win now, I don't think he would have been on board with it.
So basically, it's safe to say that Kobe ultimately uh, could have opposed this this situation. And what I mean is, it wouldn't, it probably, he wouldn't have opposed it like overall. He just would have opposed it for the Lakers, right? Because he had a lot of say in some of the guys that they were bringing, even after he was playing. You know what I mean? He had a big hold on the organization. He was still there, and we basically a consultant for him. So Kobe, what do you think Kobe would have conveyed to Jeannie Buss and the Buss family? Do you think this would have happened? Or do you think he would have shut this down early on when the narrative was first being pushed? Or you think he would have just rolled with it altogether?
So I think that once LeBron came, so there's two parts to sports. The first part is obviously making money, right? And then the second part, or 1B, would be to win. But I don't think that every owner of every organization, I don't think they want to lose, but I don't necessarily think their priority is winning. I think once LeBron came to LA, he's so popular and he's packing out the arena. I don't think Kobe being retired, I don't think he would have had enough power to stop the Lakers from making this move, because ultimately, in the eyes of many, as long as they have LeBron and AD, they have action at winning. But also, LeBron and AD are going to fill the stands. So I don't necessarily think Kobe Bryant would have opposed it, but I think silently, I don't think he would have like put his name out there to make this move happen. I think bro probably would have kind of just stayed in his lane on this one.
Yeah, man, I agree, man. I don't think Kobe, me personally, I don't think Kobe would have been a super fan of this for the organization,
Yeah,
right? That's me.
right.
You know what I'm saying? He's in the championships. We've seen it. Kobe's don't get me wrong, he is all about family, right? He started a basketball league of his own. You know what I'm saying? The Mamba Academy. So um, my thing is, I'm not sure if he would have been a super fan of this. You know what I mean? And that's just my take on it. And I agree with you on that, man. Hey, so what we're gonna do, my man, is we're gonna move over to the next topic, brother. Um, a lot of stuff going on in the NBA. Something major happened in the NBA. You know what I mean? It looks like in my opinion, um, that dynasty over there in Golden State is definitely over, right? Um, Klay Thompson, man, over to the Dallas Mavericks, man. It's big, real big. And I think this piece for the Mavericks is going to help them get over that hump, man. This is what they needed. This is what they need. If they got to face Boston again, they need a caliber player. They need a guy who's been there before. And Klay Thompson is that guy. Not only has he been there before, but he's conducive to the team. He's productive, and he will hit them game-winning shots, man. What's your thought on that, brother?
Um, depends on which Klay Thompson you get, but here's just what I think from watching basketball for a long time. The Dallas Mavericks issue wasn't scoring. Their issue was defense. So the problem is Luka, he expends a ton of energy on offense. That he's not like known for being a defensive stopper or anything close. And then Kyrie Irving, he physically he's just not that big, and he also expends a lot of energy on offense. So you have your two main guys they're not known for what they do defensively. I'm not gonna say they're complete garbage on defense, but I'm saying like they're not known for defense. So then you have an older that has come off of a ton of injuries. He could still shoot. I don't think that ever goes away. But again, on the defensive end, And then it's like, is Clay going to come off the bench? Is he going to start? So if he starts, you have Luka, Kyrie, and Clay pretty much as your wing guys. And it's like, are they stopping Anthony Edwards, right? Or I know they beat them in the playoffs, but I don't necessarily think Dallas was that good. I think they got some favorable matchups. I think Denver lost early. And I think
Hold
I
on.
think
Let me pause you real quick. I wanna bring some. You made a point here. So first of all, I'm gonna hit this bell right here. This is where I'm gonna disagree with you at. All right. So check it out. So for me, right, yes, Dallas Mavericks, they're not that defensive type team. They don't have the defensive mindset. They got a couple guys that are out there crashing boards. You know what I mean? And that is the difference in some of these losses, right? But when I'm looking at even a lot of their losses, right? Some of the games they've lost over the course of the season, man, was less than 4 to 5 points, right? When I look at the finals that they got into, you know what I mean? First game that they lost, they lost pretty big, right? The last two games looks like they lost about 6 points, 7 points, and then the last game that they lost, they lost pretty big. They were pretty much done, right? Klay Thompson is that missing piece. He's going to give you about 20, 25. You know what I mean? And maybe they don't need to focus on defense when you got guys that can be able to put the ball up. And you're right. That's one part I do agree with you. It's about which Klay Thompson you get, right? And if it's the Klay Thompson that we know shows up in them finals, this is going to be the difference maker of, you know what I mean, them, one, having a better overall record in the season, right? Because like I said, a lot of games that they lost, you know what I mean? They lost to I'll give you an example, right? They lost to, stand by one. First game, they lost to the Lakers, right? When they lost to the Lakers the first game of the season, that game was tight, man. It was 109-97, right? Looks like they lost to another LA team. This was in the conference finals in the first round. You know what I mean? They lost to the Lakers 116-111. You know what I mean? I think Klay Thompson is that missing piece that's going to help get them over the edge. And like I said, maybe they don't have to focus on defense. What's your thought on that?
my thought on that is we all know defense wins championships. You're gonna have to get a stop. So how I would push back is I would say they lost in 5, right?
Right.
And the only time they scored over 100 points was the game that they won. So out of 5 games, 4 times they didn't score 100 points. And then 3 of those games, they didn't even score 90 points. So you know what that lets me know? It lets me know that Boston played lockdown defense and they were making the Mavericks have to take tough shots. So Klay Thompson, 20 to 25 points, I believe, is a stretch due to the fact that Luka has such a high usage rate, and so does Kyrie. So neither one of those guys are like they're ISO players. So they're gonna have the ball in their hands a lot. Klay is essentially gonna be a corner guy, a catch and shoot. Yes, he could do that, but how many opportunities is he really gonna get when you're on the court with Luka and Kyrie? So it all goes back to defense. The reason Boston won is twofold.
I
They
mean,
they shot the most.
Klay Thompson averaged 17.9 points last year, and he's playing on a team with Steph Curry. He's not a highlight player. He's already on a team with you got
Steph
Draymond
Curry
Green and
one play. Think about so he averaged 17 points with Steph Curry, and Steph Curry's one guy. Now imagine playing with 2 guys that shoot at the volume of Steph Curry, like Luka and Kyrie. So how many opportunities is he really going to get? And is he a liability on defense?
the way that Kyrie drives the ball, now he has a guy he can kick it out to, right? So I want you to think about that part too. This guy is definitely, in my opinion, this guy is going to be the difference maker in this. And maybe you're right. Maybe they do need to go out and make a couple trades before we get to the season, man, in the trade deadline, and see if we can get some defensive guys. Deep
Klay Thompson 6 years
run.
ago, I would agree wholeheartedly if this was Klay Thompson from 6 years ago. Klay Thompson got older. He lost a step. And one of the things he was known for outside of his shooting was he was basically a two-way player. Klay Thompson used to play super defense, but now he's become a liability. So if you score 17, but your guy has 30, how much does that 17 or 20 that you scored matter?
We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. You know what I mean? We definitely gonna see, brother. So we're gonna go ahead and move over to the next topic, my man. Another big trade in the NBA. We got Paul George over to Philly, man, wearing number 8, wearing that Kobe number, man. He said he did it for Kobe. Said he wanted to play in Philly. Said he wanted to wear number 8 for Kobe. And yeah, man, this is big for Detroit. I think they're going to be able to give Boston a run for their money. You know what I'm saying? And I still think that Paul George, he's still a great player in my opinion, and he still has more to bring. So, I'm glad to finally see him on a team that he can possibly get a deep run in the playoffs with, man. So what's your thoughts on Philly, man, and with that matchup with Boston?
It just depends on the health of Joel Embiid. If he can stay healthy, I believe they have action because you have Embiid and you have Paul George. That kind of cancels Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But then you have Maxey, which he's a young player that's figuring it out, and he's a hooper. So then I believe they also got Eric Gordon, he could score, and they also got the rebounder, man. The walking double used to play for the Detroit Pistons. I can't think of his name right now, but now they have a legitimate backup center for Embiid. So now their team is pretty well rounded, and I think they have action in the East. I think the top 3 teams that I could see coming out of the East that are going to compete are the Knicks, the 76ers, and then Boston, of course. Paul George, he's still a hooper, but I don't think he's ever played with a big man with the caliber of Embiid. So I believe that will make his job much easier. So he won't have to expend as much energy on offense because Joel Embiid is going to make it easier for everybody else. So I think they could make a deep run. But again, Boston is loaded. So, we're going to see.
They got. I mean, the roster over here in Philly, man, is stacked. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, they got some guys that's gonna be able to come off and do some shit. You know what I'm saying? They got Robert Covington.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Power forward. You know what I'm saying? This guy can play. Andre Drummond. This guy can still play. Right?
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm saying? We got Joel Embiid. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're right, as long as he stays healthy, man, they going in. You know what I'm saying? And then you got a guy this guy, in my opinion, is he always shows up when the playoffs is there, man. He always shows up. Big games. Eric Gordon always shows up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a guy, Kyle Lowry. He's been a champion. You know what I mean?
They also have Kelly Oubre.
Yeah, they got some guys over there, man. So, I think this team, right now, I don't fully think they have all the pieces that they need for that matchup for Boston. You know what I'm saying? But I think it is coming along, and I think that there may be maybe one to two guys that can come off the bench and play in specific roles. I think they're 1 or 2 guys away from that. That's my thought on that, man. But definitely great situation for Paul George.
I just really honestly, bro, at the end of the day, I think they have enough depth on their team. You're talking about Embiid, George, Maxey, Lowry, Oubre, Martin, Cameron Payne, Drummond, Eric Gordon, Covington, Kenyon Martin Jr. They're loaded and they're deep, but none of that matters if Embiid isn't healthy.
And that's exactly what
So,
that's
and
exactly why I'm going to. They're one or two players away from what they need to do. Is you're not going to be able to get a guy that's going to have all of Embiid's skills, right? But you can go out and get two guys, one that that has the opposite of each skill, and that way you can kind of rotate these guys in and out, and hopefully that'll feel like, if Embiid gets hurt, hopefully that can kind of offset him being missing, right? You got a guy that can go in there and rebound the hell out of the ball, right? You got a guy that can kind of put buckets back up, offensive rebounds, and put the buckets back up and score and make it to the free throw line, right? Slow that game down, right? Those are the small little components that I think they're one or two players away from that. Because one thing that has always been consistent is the inconsistency of Joel Embiid staying healthy and when the playoffs come, man.
that is true. And another thing to think about is since 2015, there's been a different champion. So since 018, there's been a different champion every year. So the odds of the Boston Celtics repeating are slim. So that just based off the last 6 years, 7 years, there's going to be a new champion next year. So, it could be the 76ers.
So my next, before we step away from the NBA, last thoughts on the NBA, man. Who you think is give me your top four teams, man. Two from the East, two from the West. Who you think is going to be playing for them semifinals, man?
Well, on the East, on the East, it's a 3-team race. I don't think you could just narrow it down to two. It's the Knicks, the Sixers, and the Celtics because the Knicks were also injured.
It's funny.
They didn't
It's funny
have
that you say
their.
that because I had my cursor highlighted. I had my cursor highlighted over the Knicks. That's good. But go ahead, continue, brother.
Yeah, the Knicks they played in, like, I'm not gonna say the Celtics had an easy run. However, they did go against some teams that were short man. So I say on the East, it's literally those 3 teams: the
Well,
Knicks, the
you're gonna have to give me
Sixers.
your three because it's a three on the West too. So you can give me your three on the West.
Yeah, on the West, even though I'm a Lakers fan, I don't think they're top 3. I still kind of think, as long as Denver has the big Serbian and Jamal Murray and those guys, they did lose KCP, I think. But you have to put Denver up there. You have to put Minnesota up there. And then I believe, personally, I believe Dallas Mavericks is going to take a step back. I don't think they're going to be as good this upcoming year as they were last year. But a team that I think is going to take a step forward is probably the Thunder. They were a young team. They got a little bit of that playoff experience, but their Chet is going to be a year older, stronger. His game is going to improve. Um, SGA, and then the one dude with the braids. I can't think of his name right now, but he's a hooper. So I actually think it could be between the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, and the Thunder. Those are going to be my top 3 teams for next year out the West.
Got you. So I'm gonna agree with you on the. I'm going with Boston, Knicks, and Philly for the top three out of the West. And I will add one sleeper team in there. Um, on the East, I got my one sleeper team is probably going to be Miami. You know what I mean? I think Miami still has something left, man. We'll see. We'll see. That's a hopeful though. That's my hopeful. As far as the West, yeah, I'm definitely going with the Denver Nuggets. Minnesota Timberwolves, Mavericks for my three, and then my sleeper team is going to be Golden State. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I think they have enough to still kind of compete, man. We'll see with some of these trades and some of these things that kind of get moved around. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, that's where I'm at on the NBA, my guy. You know what I mean? Appreciate you on that one. 1 second, brother.
Welcome back to TG Sports Media. Back to TG Sports Media 7. Like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Ain't no way that the TG Sports Media 7 way left. Go!
All right, my man. So we're gonna be moving over to the next topic, man. We're gonna be moving over to boxing, man. Both men and women's boxing. Gervonta Davis, man. Gervonta Tank Davis, man, looking unstoppable. His power is kind of unmatched in the divisions that he's fighting in, man. There's not many guys that can kind of keep up with him, man. He's knocking these guys out, man. You know what I mean? I believe his record now is 32-0. You know what I mean? This guy is the man. You know what I'm saying? So, wanted to bring that to your guys' attention, man. Tell me what you think about Gervonta Davis, my guy. Pay the boy.
I think he's this era's Floyd Mayweather with a lot more power. That's the best way I could put it. He's 30-0, 28 knockouts. If Floyd Mayweather had power, that's basically what I see with Davis. Like, his defense is spectacular. But outside of his physical abilities, one thing that I don't think he gets enough credit for is bro is really smart. He's really technical, and he really watches a lot of film on his opponents, and he doesn't underestimate anybody that he's going against. That's one of the things that, he got all the tattoos and all that stuff, and he's knocking people out. I think what could get lost in his ability is his ability to understand how a fighter is going to attack him, his ability to adjust, his ability to take a punch because he's been hit and he just walks right through him. His defense is crazy. His power is crazy. But I think the absolute most important attribute that he has is he doesn't underestimate any fighter. And he breaks down, he knows his opponent. He breaks down his opponent. He respects his opponent. And that allows him to be who he is. So I definitely think he's this era's Floyd Mayweather, but
Be
just with
more
a lot of
stand
more
up.
power.
Be more stand up. You know what I mean? Baltimore stand up, man. He's one of Baltimore's finest, man. This guy definitely comes out of the grit. He comes out of the ghetto, man. He had a rough upbringing, man. You know what I'm saying? In a situation that, like some of us growing up, you know what I mean? He didn't have too much, you know what I mean? Growing up in a fatherless home, those type of things, man. The epitome of a guy who grinds, you know what I mean? I'm gonna agree with you. A lot of people do underestimate his smarts, his ability that he does watch his opponent and understands the techniques that he has to use to, navigate some of these guys' punches. There's a lot of times I've seen him get hit with some heavy impactful punches, but he just has a chin on him. You know what I mean? And he has something inside of him, man, that's different. You know what I mean? And he has the heart of a lion, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But that comes from coming out of the mud. You know what I'm saying? And when you're a guy that comes out of the mud, you're gonna respect the sport. You know what I'm saying? It's feeding your family, and it's this guy. Let me tell you, this guy went back to where he grew up and he bought the whole block. You know what I mean? He's that kind of guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's trying to make it better for everybody else. You know what I mean? So I respect this guy. I respect what he's bringing. He had some controversial situation that occurred. He ended up on house arrest for a situation. I'm not going to bring the situation up. If you guys want to look it up, look it up. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tarnish this guy. This is my guy. You know what I mean? But he's been resilient through it all. You know what I'm saying? And this time around, you can see he's focused. And one thing a lot of people also don't give him credit on is he trains his ass off. This guy's relentless with his training. He's kind of like, he kind of does what LeBron would do, what Kobe do. He has that mentality, that Mamba mentality for this boxing thing, man. He respects the sport, respects the guys that came before him, man, and he does this shit ultimately. So we're gonna go ahead and jump
he's a
into the next.
beast.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the next topic, man. Claressa Shields, man, 3-time undisputed champion in her prospective weights, man. 3-time Olympic gold medalist, man. She's doing her thing, man. She's jumping up 2 weight classes, fighting for a vacant belt, man. And I've been a fan of her, man. I've been following her for many years, man. T-Rex is what they call her. You know what I mean? And she's relentless, man. You know what I'm saying? And she's even jumped into the PFL. You know what I'm saying? 3-1 in mixed martial arts. She's a dog, man. She is the GWOAT, GWOAT, man. Greatest woman of all time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna before we go all the way in, I'm gonna tell you something, man. When we were growing up, right? Do you remember the impact that Serena Williams had on our culture and where we come from? Do you remember that impact she had?
Yes.
And later down the line, not only did she set that impact for an athletic standpoint, but she also became the face for Black women. You know what I'm saying? She was the face. You know what I'm saying? And she was everywhere. She was on every magazine, man. She jumped into the modeling game, and she's doing her thing. You know what I mean? And this is what I see for Claressa Shields, man. She is the next Serena Williams, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And I think she's slowly growing into that. You know what I'm saying? But she's definitely going to be the face for Black women, man. You know what I mean? And a strong woman, does her stuff, man. And what's your thoughts on Claressa Shields, brother?
I'll get into my thoughts on that in a second, but as far as the difference between Serena Williams and Claressa Shields is Serena Williams was the first person that looked like her to have that level of success.
100%.
And I would say this, and I mean this humbly. I'm not sure if Claressa Shields would. We can't just overlook Layla Ali's accomplishments. You dig what I'm saying? So I respect Claressa Shields as long as she stops trying to get in the ring with men. Like, that's comedy, but her actual ability is unmatched in this era. She is not a typical female fighter. She does have she got that she has a something different.
She's a dog.
She's something
She's another
different.
one.
Yeah,
She comes from Flint, Michigan, man.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
she
She
does.
comes
But
she comes
I'm
from the mud as
not
well, man.
willing. I can't just Layla Ali retired. I believe she was 24-0. I think Claressa Shields is 14-0. I can't just jump out on that ledge and say she's the greatest woman boxer ever because Layla Ali was putting in paws on people when she was in the ring. You dig what I'm saying?
She
But
was. She was. I give Layla
Shields,
Ali that. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
Claressa Shields is a 3-time undisputed champion, 3-time U.S. Olympic gold medalist, champion. She's a GOAT.
she's one.
She's a GOAT.
Absolutely. I'm
She is a
I'm
GOAT.
just saying I'm just saying we can't just clearly overlook um, Layla Ali because she kind of paved the way for someone like Claressa Shields.
Agreed.
You dig what I'm saying?
I
And
agree with you,
I
man.
mean,
No one. I would never
Layla
overlook
Ali
Layla
thought
Ali,
about
but Layla Ali
Layla,
hasn't done what Claressa Shields has done.
what do you mean by that?
3-time undisputed champion. Listen.
Layla,
3-time undisputed.
Layla,
Listen. 3-time undisputed champion. 3-time Olympic gold medalist. Now she's jumping up 2 weight classes to fight for a vacant belt. That's respect. Hold on. And she's
okay.
and she's 3-1 in mixed martial arts. Can you match Layla Ali's accolades to that? Let's go round for round.
First of all, we're talking boxing. So if we're talking boxing, Layla Ali held the WBC, the WIBA, the IWBF, and the IBA female superweight titles, as well as the IWBF light heavyweight title. So when you talk about the three, Claressa Shields' three titles, Layla Ali had 5 when she retired. Now, the mixed martial arts and all that stuff.
Hold on. Let me tell you what my girl got. IBF World Middleweight Champion. WBA World Middleweight Champion. We had 2. WBC World Middleweight Champion. That's 3. WBF World Middleweight Champion. That's 4. WBO World Middleweight Champion. That's 5. At the age of 29. T-Rex, let's go. Stand up, baby.
So they're even then. That's my point. You can't clearly say like Claressa Shields is a better boxer than Layla Ali. It's all preference at this point. Layla Ali, she never lost in 24 fights. So Claressa Shields has to win at least 10 more fights without losing before she can even match Layla Ali.
Well, you know what? This is what I will tell you, my guy. I will see you in about 10 more fights. You know what I mean? And we definitely, when we get to that 10th fight, man, we definitely gonna bring you back, man. Hey, you guys, like, subscribe, share, and comment, man. Tell us what you think, about this matter right here that we're bringing to y'all's attention, man. Who's the GOAT, man? Layla Ali or Claressa Shields, man? Tell us what you think about that, man. I'm going with Shields. My guy's going with
One more thing before we get up out of here on this topic, right? Layla Ali was 24-0 with 21 knockouts. Claressa Shields, how many knockouts does she have?
You tell me.
2?
I said, you tell me.
2?
She got 2.
I believe Claressa. So when you talk about boxing, like when you knocked out 21 out of 24 people you fought against versus you have 14 wins, 12 by decision, 2 by knockout, who was more dominant at what they were doing?
Look, Claressa Shields overall, let's bring pro and amateur, right? She's 77-1 with 13 KOs, man.
So in 77 fights, she still doesn't have as much fights as knockouts as Layla Ali.
Hey,
And
I'm comfortable as long as she's winning them belts, I'm comfortable with that. You know what I mean? And like I said, we'll see you in about 10 more fights, man. Who's to say that she won't knock out the next 10 people? You know what I mean? So we'll see you in about 10 more fights, brother. So let's go on and jump over to the one of our last topics, man. Which is going to be Sha'Carri Richardson, man. You know what I'm saying? Redemption, man. Redemption. I did a video on this a couple months back. Go ahead and check that out, guys. But redemption, man. Resilience. You know what I'm saying? Sha'Carri Richardson, man, been able to come back from, being kicked out of the, Olympics. You know what I mean? Few years ago, 8 years ago. You know what I mean? And now she's come back. She's going to be in Paris, man. You know, she ran for one of her final runs in Eugene, Oregon, and she did a 10.71, man. Came first place, qualified for the U.S. Olympics, or the U.S. Olympics. She qualified for the Paris Olympics. You know what I mean? So, what's your thought on that, man?
I always like a good redemption story. I personally, I get it as the Olympics, but I didn't see how a little bit of cannabis gave her an advantage on the track. However, those are the rules. But I do like the way she came back better, and she's fast. So, I mean, hopefully she keeps it going and she could keep winning. And the redemption story is one of the best things to see in life. Someone that had to go backwards a little bit but didn't give up, kept grinding, kept working, and now it seems like it's all paying off for her. So you talk about, I think her fastest 100 time was 10.65. That's crazy, right? But I do want to give a shout out to Flojo because she has the world record for the 100. And to me, that is crazy. She ran a 10.49. So it just goes to show you that, these women in their own right, and it's not fair to compare them to the men in their respective sports, but in their lane, they're athletic and they're fast and they could train their bodies to do some amazing things. So, I like to see people bounce back from adversity and get back after it and then ultimately end up on top. I love it.
100%, man. She's one of my favorite female athletes, man, in this generation. And she's definitely going to be put up there on that Mount Rushmore for U.S. women's track, man. She's definitely going to be one of them athletes up there. Agreed, man. You know what I'm saying? She definitely, believe it or not, man, we going to see, man. We going to see. I really hope she goes to Paris and wins the gold medal. This is only going to build her story up more, man, and she'll be able to share her story, man. You know what I mean? And I agree with you, man. Her having a little smoke. I believe she had some tough things going on. A couple people in her family passed away, immediate family, grandmother, mother, something of that nature. And she just, she fell victim to whatever was around her. You know what I mean? And that shouldn't have been um, suspension, maybe for the entire event. I think that was ridiculous. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that there's some people that do worse things in the Olympics. You know what I mean? And not knocking on the Olympics, but I'm sure that there's some people that are testing for steroids and different things like that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like I said, man, one of my favorite female athletes, and it's her time. You know what I mean? It's her time. So, yeah, man, it's definitely been a good one, man, with you. Appreciate you coming on, man. Hey guys, like, subscribe, share, and comment, man. If you guys have anything that you'd like to say, man, on any of the topics that we touched on, man, let us know in the comments, man. Share the video. You know what I mean? Shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. Recently become a brand ambassador for them, man. SeatGeek's ticket app takes the confusion out of buying tickets, man. They rate their ticket scores 0 out of 10 on each ticket, so you know if you're getting a good or bad deal. Green good, red bad. Plus, my viewers get $20 off their first purchase with my promo code TG Hustle. Click the link in the bio description. Download the app. Remember the promo code TG Hustle. And again, you'll find the link in my profile and description, man. You guys have a great and safe one, man. And remember, ain't no way but TG Sports Media 7 way. Let's go.